Hey, Michelle O'Neill here, Monday Mastery Moments with Michelle. And I am so thrilled to be here today. Can you believe August is almost over? I mean, there's only a few more days, but I have two more authors for you because there's two more Mondays. And I am so thrilled to share with you this week's author, Kindra Dionne. She is none other than my mentor, my coach, my friend, and my sister, and so much more. And she's going to share with you the secrets of her book, Conquering the Emotional Roller Coaster of Entrepreneurship. Catch you on the other side. I am so thrilled to be here with our author today, Kindra Dionne. Kindra, thank you for being here today. I am so excited to have you here. Thank you. Hey, I can't wait to tell everyone the name of the book. Above all else, I am excited about the name, and it is Conquering the Emotional Roller Coaster of Entrepreneurship. Now, doesn't that sound exciting? I want to know all about these roller coasters, girl. So again, thank you for being here today. And let's let everyone know a little bit about you. Why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit?
Absolutely. So my name is Kindra Dionne. I own a business development consulting firm, and we are in the process of offering services to early stage entrepreneurs and those that are aspiring to become entrepreneurs. What I found over the years in doing professional development, business development, as well as economic development services in communities all across this country is that there are so many people that really want to start businesses, but there's some type of a block keeping them from going from thinking about business to actually starting a business. So our firm has decided to make this pivot. And I felt like the best way to impact the most people at one time was through writing a book. So here I am today, and I'm super excited to try to condense everything that I've acquired in terms of knowledge over the years into a couple of pretty powerful pages.
Wow. So I want to tell y'all right up front, she is my coach and my mentor, and she is phenomenal. So I just got to get right into this. So what were your your biggest obstacles in your journey, and how did you overcome them about the book?
Oh my gosh. The biggest obstacle for me in writing this book was me. I could not get out of my own head long enough to get my thoughts on paper. I felt like I had to become some type of a perfectionist, or I had to be a professional author before I could become an author for the first time, which makes absolutely no sense. But isn't that how we do it? We put all this unnecessary pressure on ourselves, unrealistic expectations, like I have to be a master chef before I can take a cooking class, or I have to know how to ride a bike before I can learn how to ride a bike. Like this is the way we think, and this is the way we treat ourselves. And when we entertain those negative, toxic thoughts and emotions, they become our habits and our behaviors. So the biggest barrier for me was getting out of my own way so that I could get on with the writing process. I was out there on every search engine you could find looking for things like, how do you start writing? You write. How do you know what to say? You say something. Like it's so simple in hindsight, but for whatever reason, when it came time to actually write my book, that I was my biggest barrier. That was my biggest challenge, was getting out of my way so that the thoughts and things that I had could be reflected on paper. And what I ultimately said to myself to get over me and get on with the work that I was doing was, Kindra, you need to stop being selfish, because to allow my anxiety and my nerves to get the best of me in this moment is preventing me from saying what I have to say in order to help someone else start their company. So how do I get over myself? Stop being selfish. Stop thinking about you so much and write the doggone book, period. with a T.
Wow. Well, I like that. So
Yeah.
all right, well, let's go back a little bit. So what
Yeah.
actually inspired you? I noticed just a little earlier you talked about the fact that you know that the biggest way to make the biggest impact was to actually write this book because you felt that you could reach more people. But deep
Yeah.
down, tell us what really inspired you. What was the final push to have you actually write this book?
So undergraduate, I studied psychology in school, and organizational psychology, to be exact, industrial organizational. So it's called IO psychology, which is basically the psychology of business, or how business people think. I've always been fascinated by that. What inspires someone to build the buildings that we see lining the skyline of New York City or Chicago or LA? Like, I've been fascinated by that. And so when it came to entrepreneurship, I've always wanted to just take a journey through the mind and the thought process of some of our world's most successful entrepreneurs. That was my big fascination. As I dialed back a little bit and started my company, I started digging deep into the mindset of the entrepreneurs that were coming into my office on a daily basis. As I traveled this great country of ours and meeting entrepreneurs from all different walks of life, nationality, national origin, Native American, some beautiful, beautiful people across this country, all business owners, I realized, wow, their journey on the surface looks absolutely amazing. But when you step away from the lights and the cameras and the neon open signs on the front of their business and really talk to them, what they share is not only deep, but it's very emotional. It's very emotional. Even taking a new product into a new market is an emotional process. And so just through natural conversation, I started to ask questions and dig a little deeper to find out what was it like for them when they first started. And we would laugh about things like, you know, how many times we tried, failed, and adjusted, how many times we jumped out there to get started, but we could never actually get it started. We talked about some of the silly mistakes that we learned along the way. And all of those things just made us like fall out in like hilarious laughter. It's crazy. But I don't know. It was listening to the stories, the real, authentic, raw, unadulterated truth about what entrepreneurs go through and the things that we think, silly things that we think that are serious enough in our minds to make us not start. And I felt like it was my job to do something about that. And I know that there's books out there that touch on different things that are very close to this. But for me, everything is always about perspective. It's always new thoughts for consideration. Are there other ways that I can think about this thing to make the truth work in my favor? And that's what this book is all about. It's helping you to think about the emotions that you're experiencing in a new way so that we can ultimately make the truth work in our favor so we can get over ourselves and on with business.
Wow. So now while you were talking, another thing came into my mind. So I'm going totally off script. So tell me this. I want to get down in the mud a little.
Let's
So
go.
tell me, what is a commonality, or was there any commonality that you saw, no matter what race, what nationality, what background? Was there any commonality that you saw working with all these different entrepreneurs?
Oh, absolutely. The common thread that I saw between all entrepreneurs was procrastination. Every single entrepreneur that I have encountered, no matter what their gender, socioeconomic, or employment status might have been at the time that I talked to them, was procrastination. We have all dealt with it. We have all struggled with it. But what we don't realize is that our procrastination might be coming from a place that we have not discovered. Our procrastination a lot of times is not rooted in laziness or that I'll put it off mindset that we tend to adopt. Our procrastination might be linked to some deep underlying thoughts, fears, and emotions that you have not dealt with. some things that you have suppressed so far down that you forgot that they were even there. Things like guilt, feeling that burden of creating a financial hardship for your family or those that are around you, feeling guilty about having a full-time job, but yet actively pursuing your passion to start your business on the side. All of those things, those suppressed feelings that generate or originate from guilt, those things can lead you to procrastinate. Because I know at work, I have this major project that I was just assigned. I mean, my boss told me how fabulous and awesome I was. And I'm really excited about working on this project, but my dream is calling me. It's pulling me in a direction. You know, my spouse, my husband, my wife, my whatever, pick your partner. They're needing me to do something. I mean, we have been saying we were going to save to buy a house for so long. But my dream is calling me and I need to get after my dream. Like all of these things go on in the back of our head. So if we take action and actually move that business forward, what'll happen is we speed up the inevitable. That fear, that thing that we were afraid of, leaving our family in a lurch, leaving our employer in a lurch. We're expediting that fear when we take action. If we procrastinate, we delay the burden on the other people. So we tend to lean more to procrastination. If I drag my foot on this thing, then I can stay employed for a little while longer and help my boss get to where they need to be. If I hold off on starting my business a little bit longer, I have a couple more paychecks to help my family purchase that house. It's easier to adopt that mindset of let me procrastinate and delay the inevitable so that I will not create a hardship or a burden for those that I love or those that I'm connected to. But let me enter another thought for your consideration. What if that very thing that you are delaying turns out to be the blessing and the breakthrough that those people actually need? What if you launch this business and you land your first contract that is so big, it can buy that house in all cash and you don't have to finance a thing? What if you launch that business and you offer consulting services and your former employer now becomes one of your clients? What if your client, who is now your former employer, the contract with that client pays you more than what you made when you worked for them as an employee and gives you more than enough to not only buy the house for your family, but furnish the house? It's when we change the way that we think about these situations just a little bit that we ultimately change our outcome. And that's what this book is about. In the book, I talk about guilt. I talk about procrastination. I talk about opportunities and how we're our greatest obstacle to some of our opportunities because of the things that we're thinking about. So I'm excited. If you can't tell, I'm passionate.
Girl, I am so excited. I'm like, I got to get it. I get you on a regular basis, but I need the book too. So I am so excited.
Yes,
but,
I'm excited.
Okay, with that said, you kept saying this one word, action. So my next to last question for you is, what do you want your readers to know about the book before they buy it? Are those action steps in there? What are they going to walk away with? Tell us.
The first action step that I would tell my readers before they buy the book is get a mouthpiece. Put a mouthpiece in your mouth. You know, like the boxers before they enter the ring, they put the mouthpiece in to protect teeth and their tongue. Protect your teeth and your tongue, because I'm coming for your jugular with this one. I am not playing games with this book. I am not. I'm so sick and tired of seeing gifted entrepreneurs stuck on the sidelines of I wish I coulda or maybe I shoulda. You know, this book is going to snatch you out of your comfort zone so quick. You might want to get one of those foam helmets that they put on, you know, the wrestling matches in school. You might want to put one of those in and put that chin strap on as tight as you can get it, because I'm coming for your head. And I mean that literally. I am coming for your thoughts. I am challenging thoughts in this book in such a way that you won't be able to think the same once you finish reading it. every single thing you thought about the emotions that you feel with entrepreneurship, I'm going to show you how to convert those painful negative thoughts into positive and productive energy that'll help get that momentum going and keep you in a place of go. Imagine for a second being on a roller coaster that has so many loops and twists and turns that you get dizzy just standing in the line, right? And now you get on this roller coaster and you're in the seat and the roller coaster is in action and you get right at the top of that first loop and the coaster stops. That's where most of you are right now. All of the energy and excitement that you've had that built up to you starting your business has your coaster in motion. But the second you reach your first obstacle or things get tough, you're at the height of that first loop. And we stop here. We stop at this point. And that's the point where a lot of us quit. I have done it 7 times. And I talk about that in the book. 7 times I got to the top of the loop and quit. That's what happens if you unstrap your seatbelt when you're upside down at the top of the loop. You come crashing down on your head, and the results of that can be detrimental. That is not the time to quit. That is the time to tighten your grip and hold on, baby, because there's going to be some twists and turns along this journey. But the key is don't quit too soon, and don't quit at the wrong time. If you're going to quit, that's fine. The roller coaster will be there. You'll be hard pressed to find an amusement park in this country where one year a coaster is there and the next year they've taken the coaster down. They don't take the coasters down. They just repair them and they fix them back up, and you continue to ride for generations. I'm still riding some of the coasters that my mother rode at her favorite amusement park, and my daughter rides them, These coasters stick around for generations. You can't beat the coaster. You have to conquer the coaster. And that takes a change in mindset. This is all about changing the way you think. So put your mouth guard in and strap that rubber helmet on, because I'm coming for your head and I'm coming for your jugular. I'm not playing games with this book. This book, we're going to conquer some stuff. We're going to overcome some emotional twists, some emotional turns, some emotional peaks and valleys. And the entire time that you want on that coaster, I want you to learn how to ride it with your hands up in total surrender and in complete enjoyment, because it's going to be scary, but you have to be ready for it. And the entire time that you're on the ride, I need you to check your face, because somewhere along the track is going to be a camera and someone will take your picture. Because they're watching you. People are watching to see what you do, because it's a whole lot of people in your family. Maybe it's your children, maybe it's your significant other, your best friend, your enemy. Everybody is watching to see how you handle this thing once you've opened up your mouth and said with your teeth and your tongue and your throat box and your heart, I'm going to start a business. Mark my words, I'm going to start a business. When you say that out of your mouth, everyone starts watching. You never know when the camera's going to flash, just like on a roller coaster. So you got to be ready. So if I don't beat you up with this book, you'll get out there on that coaster track and you'll be blindfolded. We're taking the blindfold off. We're going to ride this thing wide open with hands up. We're going for it. That's what this book is going to do for you.
Wow. Let me tell you, she is not playing. Let me tell you, she beats me up all the time. In fact, I have my own sumo wrestler suit because she goes at the heart of the matter. So let me tell you. But all right. So tell me, how can we buy your book and how do we get in contact with you? How do we find Kindra Dionne?
Absolutely. So right now, the best way to find me is on Instagram. My Instagram handle is I am Kindra Dionne, KINDRADIONNE. That's the best way to find me. I do have a website. It's kindradionne.com, and the book will be available for sale there and on Amazon once it is finally launched. We look to launch the book officially in September of 2020, but be on the lookout through my Instagram for more announcements about that date and when pre-order sales open up.
Wow, Kendra, this has been phenomenal. You have kept me spellbound the whole time. I had to remember that I was doing an interview, girl. So thank you. Thank you once again for being here
Thank you.
and blessing my audience, telling them how they can be phenomenal entrepreneurs and that they
Thank
need to get off that emotional roller coaster or learn how to ride it. That's all it
Conquer it,
is.
girl.
So
Conquer
I
it.
just knocked
Conquer
this out
it.
of my
Conquer
ear. Conquer that
it. Conquer it.
emotional roller coaster. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Have a great one.